Hey everybody, welcome back here in this album review series of the Fixx that we're going to be picking up back on. We've had kind of some delays in some of the posting and stuff here lately, kind of had some sickness and stuff going on and just, getting busy with life stuff, but we're getting back into it here. So sorry about that delay and everything, and kind of the slower paced uploading, but we're getting right back into it. So and we're gonna keep, get back to our regular routine here with our uploading. Trying to do an album review every week, and then some of our wrestling review stuff, which those I've been kind of being consistent on. Those are pretty easy to kick out, even whenever I was sick or whatever. And also, which I made a little community post or whatever that stay tuned. We got some other cool stuff coming up. I'm going to be doing a horror figure collection update. We've got the ranking of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies coming up very soon, as well as the ranking of all the looks of Leatherface, the crazy, appearances and stuff he's had. So we got some really fun stuff coming up. But what we're talking about today is, of course, we're talking about the Fixx's fourth album here, Walkabout. Which this is actually, for some reason, this one came out in '86, but for some reason, I always call this one, or I've gotten better about it in recent memory, but when referring to this album, I always call it what is the first track on here, which is Secret Separation. For the longest time, I would always call this album Secret Separation for whatever reason, but even though there is a title track on here and everything, right? But anyways, yeah, let's dive right into this thing with a very well produced album. Not quite as cool as a cover as these last two, especially the real artistic and look of Phantoms and Reach the Beach album covers, and then Shutter Grim kind of a strange one. This one's cool though. I mean, I like the vibe and everything they're going for on here. Really cool, but I do prefer much more their kind of artsy looking covers. But anyways, yeah, we opened it up with easily the biggest hit off this record, a Secret Separation, which is a very solid and great way to kick this thing off. Really hooky, get caught in your head real easy. Just a very, very solid one to kick things off with. I mean, hell, it was so hooky for me that I started calling the album it. So what does that tell you? But very solid one. And then we kick it on over to track number 2 with Built for the Future. And this, with a lot of these tracks on here, it's been such a long time since I've listened to this album all the way through, several years. And so this is one of those that revisiting it, I was like, man, I kind of forgot how this one goes. And I'm so glad that I now remember how some of these goes, because it's so damn good. Built for the Future kind of has a futuristic kind of vibe with kind of like this palm muted riff kind of going on throughout, and a very bass led track, which that's going to be a lot of these on here. I mean, of course, the bass is always really prominent in the Fixx's music, but I'm telling you, this is there's some really bass groove kind of led tracks, as we'll see as we go on through here, and Built for the Future is one of them. But yeah, Built for the Future is a very, very solid one that I pretty much forgot about. So really fun to revisit that. So then we've got Treasure It. This is one of the ones I always remember really, really liking. Just got a cool kind of, this one kind of picks up kind of that ambient feel a little bit that, they're so well known for. Of course, they also were known for their kind of more upbeat ones as well, but mainly that kind of ambient sound that they've got and kind of established as on their very, as their sound really from the beginning, and really capitalized on Reach the Beach. But Treasure is really good. I love the part at the end where Cy Curnin is singing over that kind of chant chorus they got going on, and just kind of doing and wailing away doing his thing. Just really, really cool moment there on this track. So one of my favorites off here is Treasure It for sure. Then we hop right into my favorite, man, Chase the Fire. This is so freaking good. This is one of those bass groove led ones that has such, man, you talk about hooky chorus that'll get caught in your head, hooky groove, bass groove going on. It's just so good. It has that classic Jamie West Oram, strumming the guitar, that pattern he does with that very, distinct tone. And there's just something about this song. It's one of my favorite Fixx songs of all time. And I loved like during I think like the second time they rolled through the chorus, they add a little bit of like, it's like extended a little bit, and then they add a little bit of, keyboard going on in there. So this is just one of my favorite Fixx songs of all time. If you don't listen to the whole album of this thing, at least go listen to Chase the Fire, because I think you'll be bopping your head to that thing. No doubt. It's so freaking good. Then we close out side one with Can't Finish, which is another one that I pretty much kind of forgot about as well. That I'm like, man, this one's freaking good too, Another kind of bass-led one here that it has just proved to be a solid one again that I'm very pleased to be, revisiting and kind of familiarizing myself with again. So this is another one that I was like, hell yeah, Yeah, side one, I'd say like my favorites off there, like Treasure It, Chase the Fire, easily my favorite song off this one. Built for the Future is one of the best off that side. So then we swing it on over to side B, as they say on here, or side two, whatever. Walkabout, the title track. And this one's good. Kind of has kind of a weird kind of vibe going on at the beginning, but really kind of hooks you in and catches you like through the chorus and all that. So it's a really good one. Not one of like my favorites off here or anything, but it's a very, very solid one. Then we go with One Look Up, and man, this one I forgot how good this one was too, right? This one has just such a cool feel to it, and then on top of that, you finish this thing off with like a freaking saxophone solo going on, and that's a way to hook me in, man. I'm a sucker for a saxophone. And One Look Up, getting that involved in there, man, that does it right there. That's such a damn good song. And that saxophone really wrapped it up for me, making it one of my favorites off here, actually. Kind of a rediscovery, right, of one that I kind of like some of those others off side A, where I kind of forgot how they went. That was kind of the case with this, and that saxophone solo hit near the end, and I'm a sucker for it, and I was like, that's good stuff right there. Then we go with Read Between the Lines. This one's kind of like the more ballady one, kind of akin to like I Will, off Phantoms and stuff like that. So and it's really good. I love the piano. It's either a piano or it's like the keyboard tone they got going on, on their keyboard, and it's really, really freaking good. Yet again, another one that it's been so long since I've listened to this album all the way through, which I know like my go-to ones off here, but I'm gonna have some new kind of go-to ones off here if I'm ever just listening to random songs off by the Fixx or something instead of a full album, right? But hey, Read Between the Lines will be one of those because it's very freaking good, little ballady kind of deal going on. So really like that one. Then we go on to the second last track here with Since the Adventure, a very cool bass-led one again. That's kind of got that that has some very cool. I love the way like the strumming is on this one. Very, very cool sound that goes on here with, and this one also kind of like Built for the Future. Almost sounds kind of like alien or futuristic, which I really like. And just has a very distinct sound and a very standout track on here that's jumped up to like one of them top dogs on this thing for me. So another awesome rediscovery of a great track that without re-listening to stuff, and just sticking to your picks that you tend to go to off albums, stuff like that. You might not ever go back to, and rediscover things like that. That's why I typically am listening to a whole album all the way through. Even if I've heard the album about 1,000 times. Most of the time, if I'm just kind of picking and choosing stuff, though, that's usually with like, if I'm like in the car or something, or just hanging out with some friends and listening to stuff or something, that will be where I kind of just pick and choose songs. But that's the beauty. What I'm trying to say is that's pretty much the beauty of going through and revisiting albums, is that, and like all the way through, is that, you got your favorites on there and stuff, but you find out that some of these become your favorites that you kind of maybe slept on in the past. And Since the Adventure, as well as quite a few of those there, had done that for me here. Then we end it with Camper, I think, Camphor. They kind of say it like Camper, or not Camphor, right? But This was a very cool closer. Also kind of had that ambient kind of feel to it with a little bit of a groove going on in there. So this was a really cool one. I think it was a very fitting closer. It did just fine. Not one of my favorites off here, but a very solid track. That, you know, does its job and wraps things up nice. So this, such an awesome album that I've always loved, but just, it's been so long that I forgot just how much I loved it, right? Of course, again, Chase the Fire, top tier. That's one of my favorite Fixx songs of all time. Like, talking maybe top 5 or 6 of them. It's just that damn good, right? Then, you know, Treasure It has always been one of my favorites off here. Built for the Future is a new favorite, you know, of a rediscovery. Same with Can't Finish and One Look Up and Since the Adventure. And then, you know, you got the hit off your Secret Separation, which is really good. I mean, this is a very, very awesome album, and one that gets, I think, overlooked because, you know, the mass success of Reach the Beach, and then afterwards you get Phantoms, so people were still kind of invested, I'm sure, right? And then maybe some people kind of dropped off after that with this band whenever, you know, a lot of times you got to stick with them, man, because them hits are good, but those deep cuts are where it's at a lot of, you know, more often than not, right? Which is exactly the case here with, you know, stuff like Chase the Fire and all that good stuff that I kind of listed off there. So, fantastic album, and it was super pumped to dive back into this one and had an absolute blast going in with this one. But next time, of course, we're going to take a look at, I believe it'll be the last of the 80s stuff of the Fixx, which is their, like, most prominent decade, right? They're like an 80s synth pop band, right? That's what they're all about. And that is Calm Animals. So stay tuned for that. We go back to having more of a cool album cover, more of an artistic looking one. So that, you know, that'll be cool visually to dive into, but also musically super pumped to dive back into that one, because that is an album that, you know, I have good things to say about, and hopefully will continue to, you know, upon this re-listen. It's also been quite a minute since I've listened to that album all the way through. So we might have another situation with Calm Animals where I rediscover some more of these deep cuts that I've not heard in a few years. So we'll see how that goes next time when we tune in for that. And anyways, guys, thanks for always, you know, commenting down there, liking, keeping this thing going. It just, it makes it that much more fun, right? When we got people to talk to about some of this stuff. So I appreciate you guys for, you know, watching, liking, subscribing, and all that. Super, super appreciate it. And anyways, guys, take care, and y'all stay tuned for the next time and for all that fun other stuff we got planned coming up. So anyways, guys, like, subscribe, comment, and thanks.